Good morning, good morning, good morning. So when we start the lives, we start with some music. We gotta have something that's pumped up. I haven't chosen anything yet. Let's see what we can play that's social media worthy, where they won't cut us for copyright reasons, right? So let me see what we're gonna play. Let's see. Right on time.
Really been going
Here's what we're
back to
gonna
back
do.
to back to back to back to back to back.
Back to back to back. Good morning. Let's
Feel
go.
like the neighborhood warriors.
Put the LUs
I
in the
don't
chat.
miss, I don't play none,
Woo,
I don't
woo, woo.
diss, I don't say none. I go swish, that's an A1.
Let's go.
I stay
Let go.
with no A1.
Let go.
Tell the chef, I said thanks. Tell I'm in the bank. Tell my mom
What?
I'm living good. Tell my kids don't stress a thing. I go
Yeah.
back to
Back.
back on the
Back.
drops. Drop a
Back.
lot and she pack the bag. She shot till we drop. I just wake up. I don't say nothing. I'm on go. I don't stay long. I've been up now. That's a case one. I've been down too. Like the bass drum. I got summer toys for the summer boy. I keep drummer boys in the summer boy.
Let go.
I keep
Let
making
go.
noise. I've been paranoid. This is God
Yeah.
body. You can never void. I don't miss. I don't play none. I don't
Put the
diss,
LUs in the chat.
I don't say
You can
none.
hear and see me
I
well.
don't switch. That's an A1. I stay with no A1. Tell the chef, I said thanks. Tell
Yeah.
I'm in the bank. Tell my mom
Yeah.
I'm living good. Tell my kids
Yeah.
don't stress a thing. I go
Yeah.
back to back on the drops. Drop a lot and she pack the
Woo.
bag. She shot till we drop.
Woo. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning on this Thursday. I'm here to do a live Q&A. I told y'all do this week that I want to be here to answer your questions about your tech career, your cloud career. And while I get these questions in, I'm going to be talking more about what you can be doing to better your transition into a new role. Okay, so for those of you that can hear and see me, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, I'm not sure if I can get Instagram comments here, but put the LUs in the chat, put level up in the chat anyway. I want to make sure y'all can hear and see me well. I want to make sure that, number one, that's what it is. Let me see. Let me check Instagram. Can y'all hear and see me well? Okay. All right, so let's get started. So I had a friend that came over yesterday, and this gentleman wants to move out of his current career and get into cloud, and he wanted advice on what should he be doing, or the important things that he needs to think of to move into a career in cloud or even in tech, right? So number one, I really believe that really helps people is the mindset. Okay, so it's so many uh, myths about tech. One being that even if you come in as a junior level somewhere, you will have to take a low salary, right? That's a myth that's been for years. Like, oh well, you're just gonna have to get your foot in the door, and you're gonna have to take a low salary somewhere. That is absolutely false. You don't have to take a low salary because you're new at something, right? There's plenty of fields, especially cloud computing, cloud engineering, that pay high salaries for entry level roles, junior level roles. All right. So that's number one. You have to have a mindset of, I believe I can do this. I believe I can make great money doing this. And one thing that I think people don't think of is understanding that this journey is going to be a lifelong learning journey. So once you decide to get into tech, what you're learning now to get the job is just you're going to continuously learn. All right. So your job may give you some things that you may have never seen before doing your training. And you need to understand that, hey, I need to use the process that I've been using to learn this new process as well. So those three things, if you don't believe it, your reality is what you think. Okay. So if you don't believe it, you're not going to achieve it. I know that sounds cliche, but if you don't believe that you can get into tech, why are you even putting your foot forward to try? Or you just want to see? So when you do fail at something, because you will fail at something, meaning you won't fail transitioning into tech, but you will fail doing a project, you will fail an exam, you will fail working on a lab, you will fail at interviewing, whatever the case may be. Some people don't even believe that they can get into this industry, but what they do is they'll say, well, let me try. And what they do is they look for the failure. And then when they actually fail, see, I told you this shit won't for me anyway. I knew it. So they always are looking for the negative part of the industry from what someone is already embedded in their thinking. So going on, different discourse, going on Reddit, going on different communities and listening to people who have failed or having a hard time or not doing everything they're supposed to be doing, or doing everything they're supposed to be doing is just, not getting the job, and they just don't understand that you got to keep going. They have these horror stories, and you go and look at these horror stories and you ingest that anxiety, and that becomes part of your thinking before you even get started. So we have to change your mindset already before you get started to even think that it's possible for you to get into tech, let alone make a high salary, let alone have a long-lasting career. All right. So for those of you who have heard myths of, hey, I have to get into a low-paying role to get my foot in the door, then I can work a few years to get up there. Listen, you don't have to put years of work in to make a great salary in tech. All right. So with that being said, right, I just want to, hey, I'm gonna share my screen just so y'all can understand what I'm talking about. All right. So I want to make sure y'all can see my screen here. All right. So if you can see my screen, put LUs in the chat if you can see my screen. All right. So here is what I put in: cloud engineer. And this is where I'm located in the state of Virginia. All right. So cloud engineer, we got hourly, weekly, monthly, and yearly. Let's do yearly. The average pay for a cloud engineer right now is $118,000. And that's in 18% of the jobs. So, brothers, what about the $48,000 that you see right here? I mean, that's pretty low for when you're saying, people can make high paying roles. Well, let's look. Oh, 0% of the jobs in Virginia that state is cloud engineering are paying between $48,000 and $60,000. So this means if you move up to the 1% of jobs that are paying low, right? And we're talking, this is a low end salary for a cloud engineer role. This is super low for a cloud engineer role, right? This is 1% of the jobs. Now, if you put that into perspective, think about, you have managers of grocery stores, right? Let's say you walk into a Publix or walk into a Kroger or walk into whatever grocery store there is. You have managers, assistant managers who've worked in that company for years. You walk into a bank, you have a manager who's worked at a bank for years and then managing more than 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people are making this type of salary right now. Let alone for cloud engineering, this is pretty much a low-end, entry-level, junior-level role in cloud. Think about that. So while you are where some people have put years of work and even going to college, they're coming in making that type of money where if you put in the work for, let's say, a year in cloud engineering, you land a role, you're going to get paid more than this, right? So you're probably looking at an average of this right here, 85,000 to 96,000 average, right? Some people are above average. They get that 6 figures. But I want to just instill in you that you don't need to get your foot in the door by taking a low paying salary. You absolutely do not have to. Now, if you just feel like, hey, I'm just going to do this because I have a plan already and I know what my plan is, and you're an executor, go ahead and execute. Do what you got to do. Take the low salary and make sure you execute, because if you don't, then you just be sitting in a sitting duck. You be stuck, right? So I just want y'all to just get a clear picture. This is what ZipRecruiter is reporting, and this was updated in May 2024, this month. All right, so you can look at your different states. You can look at different cities in your state where, you know, the annual salary averages. You can look at different type of roles, right? You can calculate your salary. And let me stop sharing real quick. So y'all need to understand that some of you right now don't even know what your skills are worth. So like some of you not even in tech right now that have skills that you're being underpaid for in the current position that you're in. So we need to understand what our skills are worth that we already have, and the skills, what they're worth that we're going to continue to build to get these roles, right? So that's what I want you to understand. First, get your mind right and believe that you can do this no matter what anyone tells you. We do have gatekeepers in this industry that let's say they've had 10 years of experience, and this gatekeeper could be a mentor of yours, and this person will tell you, man, it's no way that you can make a six-figure or $90,000 salary getting into this. I've been in this 10 years and I barely make that much. Well, hey, that's you. And maybe you're not as aggressive with your career that I may be with my career. Maybe you settling for less things that I may settle for, right? Get you someone, get a mentor that's doing the things that you want to do. And when I say do the things you want to do, not only doing the job you want to do, making the money that you want to make. Because if somebody's not making the money that you want to make, how can they tell you how to make the money that you want to make? Let's be super clear and super sensible on that, right? How are you having a mentor who's making, and there's nothing wrong with having a mentor that's making, 80, 90,000, because if you're looking for somebody just to tell you how to get into the industry, that person may have a lot of experience. But if you're trying to make big money in tech, then you need to have somebody that you can ask questions, bounce questions off, who's making big money in tech, period, right? And is doing the things that you want to do, and is progressive in their career. So, number one, getting into tech, believe that you can do it. You don't have to take a low-paying salary to get your foot in the door. And you have to understand this is a lifelong learning journey. All right. So, and I'm going to talk about more of the important stuff that has nothing to do with skills, where skills come into play. Anybody can learn tech, but it's the mindset that's going to shift you into being the best that you can be. All right. So, and what I mean by this is if I listen to the 100 people that told me before I got into the industry that I would never make this type of money, is unfathomable, right? Right. So think about the things that I had against me, and you may have against you. Number one, I'm from a rural area where we didn't get taught tech in school. It was keyboarding for us. How fast can you type? So if you could type fast, it was like you get a data entry role. Yeah, but we were never taught anything about the tech industry, right? Networking, computers, and none of that, right? So when I was trying to get into the industry, not only I had some people that told me that, hey, I can't get a high paying role as my first. I had people who didn't understand what I was trying to do tell me that this was a scam. Like, hey, you can't make that type of money working from home. Are you crazy? Are you involved in 5 links? Are you involved in this networking schemes? You know what I'm saying? Whole time when I landed my first role, a high paying role, and I told my family about it. And I'm sorry, mama, I gotta do this to you. And we told my mom about it. Right? My mom was like, you better make sure it ain't no scam. Is it a scam? Because my mom didn't understand anything about tech. We weren't talking about tech. So she didn't understand like this new thing her son was doing could pay him well. But when I did it and I start showing people what it was, people starting to catch on, right? So I say that to say you may be in a situation where you have no positive reinforcement around you. But if God gave you the vision of, hey, I want to move into a cloud engineering role, he gave you all the tools and resources to be successful. He gave you all the people that you need to be successful. You need to ask yourself, who do I need to become in order to be successful? Some of y'all thinking right now, I want to get in the cloud. And some of y'all in programs, some of y'all got mentors, and y'all sitting there, hey, this mentor is going to drag me to the finish line. This program is going to drag me to the finish line. Listen, it ain't up to the programs or the mentors. It's up to you to decide this is the person that I'm going to become in order to reach my goals. Who do I need to become in 2024 and 2025? Because the same person I was in 2023 or even from January to now cannot be the same person that helps me reach, that gets me to my goals at the end of this year. The habits that you built, positive or even negative, can't be the same habits, right? So even if you have positive habits that got you here, these positive habits have to continue to improve. You got to continue to strategize, and you have to become someone different in order to get over this hump and get into tech. So the second thing is you're going to be overwhelmed, right? It's a lot of information to learn when you get into tech, and you're going to feel like you're drinking from a fire hose. And if you're like a lot of people, and especially me, you're going to feel like when I learn this first thing that I need to learn, I cannot move any further until I absolutely master this thing that I'm doing. And you have to understand tech is about moving forward, even if you're not comfortable. So when you're learning things, you got to move forward to learn new things, even if you feel like, well, I don't know it all. I'm not comfortable. It doesn't matter, because this is the secret about the industry. As I stated before, let me connect the dots. Tech is always changing. So that means everyone is always learning. So this means everyone is moving forward, learning new things, even when they're not comfortable, because you're going to be on the job and your company is going to ask you to use something or learn something that you never learned before. And what you going to tell them? Hey, man, I ain't comfortable doing that. Nah, find somebody else. I know y'all paying me, $95,000, but I ain't comfortable no more. So I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing at, working at Steinmart. Yeah, I can't do this now. Dude, send me back to Steinmart now, because this is too uncomfortable for me. Go ahead and take my salary. No, you gonna do that? Absolutely not. Let's stop bullshitting ourselves. We gonna move forward, being uncomfortable, and we're gonna push ourselves to grow and learning. Now you may have high anxiety doing this, but that's a part of the game. When you uncomfortable, your mind and body is going to tell you the worst things that can happen. And you got to do it scared anyway. And when you do it, you're going to realize it was nothing to be scared of. So when you start learning in your journey, right, you're going to have to move to learn new things, right? Set a timeline for yourself. Like, hey, if you're doing this by yourself, I'm going to give myself a year to learn it. And here's are the skills that I need to learn, right? And you need to break these skills down in weeks or a month or whatever the case may be. Or certification that you need to get, a core certification, break that down into weeks that you need to do it. This week I'm going to do this section, this week I'm going to do that section, whatever. But you need to move forward. You need to take that exam, even if you're scared. You need to move forward to learn and do that hands-on activity, even if you're scared, even if you feel like you're going to break something. Because tech is mostly about finding the answer and not knowing the answer. Because once again, when we connect the dots, tech changes so much that sometimes you don't know, you have to find. So if you're a person that can find the answer, If you're a person that thinks like, I want to solve this problem, you are going to do wonders in tech. All right. If you're a person that you love talking to people, you love communicating, you love having conversations, you love just, shaking hands and networking, you're comfortable, you would do absolutely well in tech. Now, you got people who are introverts that don't like to deal with people. They do absolutely well too. But these are mostly people who are just, they're developers in some sense and they solve problems in the back end that way. But the big money in tech comes from customer focused activities, right? So somebody being a consultant, somebody becoming an architect, somebody, is an engineer, but it's just working with the product team and just you're working with R&D and you're really conversing and working with other departments and getting out of that comfort zone and being able to solve problems with any type of person that you're working with, you are going to go here in tech if you push yourself. So I know I'm talking, right? If you got any questions, please put your questions in the comments. I want to make sure that I give you value. And I want to make sure I answer your questions too. I want to get on LinkedIn. Let me get on Instagram. I want to see, who's on, etc. But these are the things that you need to think about when you get into tech. Most people think about skills, certifications, but you already have the transferable skills to just master anything you need. You need to just get out your own way and just say, I need to be disciplined in doing it. So the one thing that we need to stop in tech is trying to find a job in 30 days. And I'm going to let that sit right there. You have people with no experience. Oh, I need to find a job in 60 days. How are you going to do that? You're going to get $15 an hour job. I mean, you can do that all day. But if you're trying to get a high paying job, these things take time because there's some things that you need to learn. So think about it like this. In order for you to make a high salary in tech, you have to learn how to solve high salary problems. And if you're realistic with yourself, you're going to sit here and assess yourself, and you need to ask yourself, am I that person right now? And it's totally okay if the answer is no. Because we know I am, hey, I want to make $1 million at Twitter. Or are you a person that can solve those type of problems? Who's making $1 million at Twitter, right? Who, total compensation? Who's making $1 million at Meta? What type of roles are they, right? And you look at these roles, are you that person right now? No. So you have to give yourself grace and time to become that person. And you can't become that person overnight because you have to experience some things that God has for you in order to transform you into that person. I'm preaching to somebody right now because if God gave you the position that you want right now, you wouldn't be able to keep it because you don't know what it costs to get it. You see what I'm saying? This is simple like giving a child a pair of Jordans. As parents, we did this. I mean, I'm a sneaker guy. So anybody that's into sneakers, we did this with our kids. We gave our kids, we still do. We give our kids the expensive thing. Here, the Jordans. Oh, I'm gonna give you this Balenciaga shirt, or I'm gonna buy my child something that they always wanted, this PlayStation 5, and they don't take care of it and they don't keep it, right? They do things to get it taken away because they don't know what it costs to get it. And even if they did know what it costs to get it, they haven't experienced paying the cost, paying the dues. So you need to give yourself grace of what does it take for me to become that person, to move into this tech world that I want to move into. Once you do that, we can be realistic with, hey, some people giving themselves 2 years, 3 years. That's totally fine. I'm going to tell you now, it don't take 2 or 3 years to get into a cloud computing role. Give yourself 8 to 12 months. 8 to 12 months is what you need. Now, the market is a little tough. It's been super tough from October to, let's say, March, but the market is coming up now. Even though it's still a little tough, people are getting more interviews, people are getting hired more. You're seeing more hires across the board at LinkedIn. So, companies are coming back around to hiring more engineers. So, if there's a company that you want to work for, here's three things that you need to do. Number one, you need to look at a cloud role, or even if they're hiring cloud engineers right now, look up the roles, right? Because cloud engineer roles can be interchangeable in their titles. So you can have a role in cloud that says, cloud system admin, and you look and they have cloud engineer descriptions, right? You can look at a role that says cloud DevOps engineer, and you look and it's cloud engineer descriptions, troubleshooting, all of that, right? So these roles interchange, right? So I just seen a role on LinkedIn today that said cloud engineer, but then when we look at the descriptions, they say we're looking for a cloud developer. Well, I mean, that's not really typically the engineering duties. It's more developing and deploying duties, and working with frameworks, etc. But you just look at the roles that they're hiring for. If you have a company that you wish to work for, two, look at the job description and understand the skills and the tools that they're looking for you to have the experience with. And number three, I would start connecting with anybody that's working in that company that's doing that job, because now I want to talk to you about, what's your day-to-day look like? How did you come to work here? Right? What is the culture like? What are some things, right? Because if you connect with somebody, right? So let's say, I got Tammy on here, Tamara on here, right? And um let me just put, so y'all can see. She said procrastination in the industry is not good. While you are thinking about it, just do it, because starting now will make a difference, right? So let's say if I wanted to work at where Tamara's working at, my thought process is I'm going to connect with Tamara, and I'm going to introduce myself. Hey, Tamara, my name is Broadus, and I'm a up and coming cloud engineer. I've been working on my skills, and I see that you're working at blah blah blah, doing blah 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 role, right? Hey, listen, I know you could be super busy, but do you have are you opposed to a 5-10 minute call? What I want to do is just talk to you about how did you come to work at blah blah blah, and what's your day-to-day look like, and what do you think about the culture there, right? So Tamara's gonna say yes or no. And if she say yes and you get the opportunity to jump on a call, then you can talk about those things. And now you can get a good insight on, okay, so these are some of the things I need to do. And number two is asking questions of, hey, since you probably see my LinkedIn profile, etc. Um, what are some of the things you think that you do in your job that I should work on to help me get a role there? And Tamara's going to tell you exactly, like, this is what we do. This is what, because in your mind, you're thinking, I need to learn all of this stuff, and I need to focus on all of these things to get that type of job. And the people that's working there is going to tell you, oh, no, man, this is what we do. We focus on this and this and this. This is super important for you to know. And the whole time, you probably weren't even thinking about those important things as being important. You were thinking about other things as being important, and you're overwhelmed, right? But this can help you get a concise understanding of what you need to move into a role like Tamara. All right. And definitely, she said, tech is huge, and even my current role is different from my first cloud role. You will find what you love. Yes, you will find what you love. You will find what's important to you. And once you gain that experience, if the company that you're working at that you thought you would like is not doing it for you, guess what? You could just move into something else. All right. So I wanted to build a bridge so y'all can be comfortable with moving forward with the first step. I know you're scared. I know you have high anxiety. I know you have 1,000 questions. And I know you probably want all your questions answered before you even make the first move. But this is the thing. Your career is unpredictable. It would never go the way you think it's gonna go fear-wise, right? Because you have this fear of, What if I get into a job I flop? What if I get in a job and I embarrass myself because I don't know? This is the secret. No one knows anything. Everyone just finds the answer. And depending on what we find, based on the experience and what we've been exposed to, it helps us connect the dots even more. But everyone is doing the same thing that you're going to do, right? Tech is not about knowing the answer. It's about finding the answer. So even in an interview, if they ask you something you don't know, you can say, hey, I really haven't had experience with that, but hey, listen, I'm all about finding the answer. I'm all about, making sure I can understand how it works and how I can be an asset working with it. You mind if I look this up real quick? And you can look it up and be like, oh, okay. So this is what it seems like it does, blah, blah, blah. That's what they want you to do. If you sit there and be like, nah, I don't know. I haven't worked with that. I'm sorry. And the questions in their head is going to be, well, can you learn it? Can you do it? Can you figure it out? You see what I'm saying? So whatever somebody told you, with all these industry experts that's telling you that you can't do this and you can't do that, it's just false teaching for me. I instill positivity. I instill that you can do anything you put your mind to. So it depends on what you're going to listen to, right? Are you going to listen to yourself, where you're half of yourself telling you can do it? Or are you going to listen to the other half that tells you can't? Because one of them is true. Well, both of them is true. Excuse me. Both of them are true. It depends on who you listen to. So if you listen to the one half of your mind that tells you ain't gonna be able to do it, you ain't shit. You ain't gonna be able to learn this stuff. You ain't gonna be able to get any job. It's gonna be just like everybody told you. You're gonna fail. You're gonna flop. Then guess what? It's gonna be true. But if you listen to that part where you say you can make a high paying salary in cloud, you can do this. Hey, bro, you got this. Girl, you got this. You can do anything you put your mind to. You can serve these clients. You can troubleshoot. You can build things. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to learn how to build it. Tech ain't about the tech skills. Anybody can learn the tech skills, right? Anybody can, like, if you're at McDonald's, let's just put it like this. If you walked into McDonald's right now and somebody said, hey, go back there and fry them fries real quick for me. I got 5 baskets. Just put them in there and fry them real quick. You're going to be like, hold on. What do you mean? I don't know what to do. Hold up. Because you've never done it. You haven't been exposed to frying fries at McDonald's. But if somebody showed you how to fry the fries over the next couple of days or even week, you find all 5 baskets. You got, what I'm saying? You got Jeezy or Drake playing in the background. You dancing and frying them fries because you're comfortable. Anybody can be taught something. It's the mindset of the person being taught that matters. Right? So like you can show somebody how to fry the fries, and a week later, even though you showed them 13 times, they still like, hey man, I don't want to press that button on the fry because I'm scared I'm gonna mess something up. And another person that started the same day with them, you showed 13 times, already not only taking over the fries, they're over there getting the burgers done too. It's all about the person's mindset. So tech is all about how you're going to think, how you're going to act, and how you're going to communicate. The skills, the certifications, all that could be learned, could be taught, could be passed. It's this in here. Who are you? Who do you need to become in order to be successful in this industry? Who do you need to become in order to be successful in getting a cloud job? That is it. Or a tech job, period. That is it. So once again, I know you're scared. I know you have anxiety about doing a great job. I told this gentleman that came over yesterday, getting into tech, getting into cloud engineering role, it's all about the 3 type of people, right? Which person are you, right? Are you a person that you can do this by yourself? You can get on get free resources. There's plenty of free resources online. You can go to YouTube. You can look at videos. You can learn how to do projects on your own. You can deal with the huge learning curve on your own. And you're just a disciplined person that's going to get it done. Or are you a disciplined person that can get it done, but you need, some guidance here and there. You maybe need somebody to bounce some questions off of. And you may just, say, hey, I know what I need to do. I just need to be able to bounce some questions sometimes with someone to talk to. Or are you a person that say, hey, I may know what I need to do or I may not, but I'm looking for, a program that's structured that can give me the steps so I don't have to think about it, give me the timeline to get it done, and can help me accomplish my goals in a certain time. And, as long as each of those people, the one, two, or three, requires a certain mindset in order to get it done. So if you don't have the mindset of, hey, whatever it takes, I'm just going to focus on getting my stuff done so I can do my daily activities, so I can become the person I need to become to land the role, then none of this is going to work anyway. All right. So look, if you have any questions about your career, if you're one of those three people like, hey, I can do it by myself, I need some free resources, or I need a mentor, or I really think I need some structure and a program that has proven results. Hey, put LU in the chats right now. I'll get back to you in a DM and we can have a conversation about your goals, what you've been doing, what haven't been doing, where the gap looks like, right? And if it makes sense, we could talk about next steps and what you need to be able to be successful in this industry. Okay. So I want you to put level up in the comments in the chat right now. And after this call, I will get with you. We can have that conversation. Okay. Because I'm all about helping you move forward, helping you develop your career, right? And so this is the thing too, what I want y'all to understand, right? Even if you have free resources out here, you still need to invest in yourself in a certain time, right? Certifications cost money, environments cost money to work. So it's a lot of people. I'm just going to be super transparent. It's a lot of people that expect or want to do all of this for free. And I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to burst your bubble. None of this ain't gonna be free, because even if it's gonna be low cost, then it's gonna be high sweat equity and high discipline and high learning curve, right? So you got to be ready for all that sacrifice. You're gonna have to sacrifice on either, or depending on the person you are. But if it's low cost, you're going to have to put in that work, because not only you're going to be putting in work, but you're going to have the learning curve that you may not be able to bounce questions off. You can join communities and everything to help you, but you'll be going at this by yourself completely. And, you have to think sometimes you'll be wasting time on things that somebody could help you in 2 minutes get it done. So just understand that nothing is free in this world, where you're going to have to invest something, and you're going to have to invest a lot within yourself, and to get that return on investment for the getting your foot in the door in a career, in a high paying one. So I just want to keep it real, keep it 100 with y'all. So with that being said, I'm going to try to do this a few times a week, right? Live Q&As. Come with your questions. I'm here to help. I want you to come with, just curiosity. Keep your mind open. I'm going to try to give you the game that you need to change your mind, right? Skills and all of that can be taught. We're talking about this right here, changing this, because you can sit down and do several projects, but if this is not changed, if your thought process is not changed, if your strategy here is not changed, nothing's going to work. Okay. So if you have any questions, put level up in the comments or inbox me level up. We have that conversation about your career, where it's going. Okay. Let me see here. Also, I was trying to see if I can post in the comments, but I can't. Also, we have a huge community called the Cloud Career Accelerator, where I'm doing live calls. We're going to start doing what we call live troubleshooting calls, right? Incident response calls. We're going to, we have free courses, the Cloud Career Kickstarter course, where you can learn what is cloud, really how much money you can make, what are the hot roles that are out here, how you can fast track yourself in landing these roles. And we give you a little project that you need to think about how to solve, right? It's plenty of ways you can figure out how to solve those, the project that we give you. So if you want access to that community, right, put community in the chat as well, and we'll send you a link to get access, right? We got plenty of resources for you to help you be successful. So come on, let's level up. Let's continue to be successful this year. All right. I hope your morning is getting started great. And I appreciate everybody that came onto this Q&A. And I'm just here to give you the game. So let's come to the next one. Ask your questions. Let's continue to be curious about our career. And let's continue to ask ourselves, who do I need to become in order to make this type of money and work this type of role in tech? All right. So I'll see y'all later. Thank you so much. Love each and every one of y'all, and I appreciate you.